Hey, may this video find you in good health and spirits. That supposedly holiday greeting now just landed significantly late, and I just want to make this an opportunity to come out to my friend, family, and those who care about me what I've been focusing on recently in my life. As you might gather from the title, the opening video is taken by the shores of the Red Sea in Egypt. This marks my first time setting foot on the land of Africa. Though Egypt, the country with its modern economy and cultural significance, might be an overly polished representation of the continent, so I can't really tick off the Africa box without truly diving into it. I must admit that I'm still largely clueless about what I've seen on the trip, and I wasn't sure what to expect in the coming days either. To say 2024 has been packed is an understatement. Since my role at work evolved, I found it difficult to carve out some leisure time for myself, so here comes an explanation for my late disappearance.
Is it rolling?
Yeah.
A lot of work and a lot of photography. Usually, I'm not actually bothered by work that much, but the itch to take a break really hit when I had to miss the weddings of two of my closest college friends, Jeffrey from Southern California and Alex from Cincinnati. We were roommates for 3 and fraternity brothers for 4 years at Phi Kappa Theta. I wish them nothing but just the best, an expression we used ad nauseum during our time together. If there was a manual for it, the first chapter will surely describe how to use it during mandatory chapter rituals, when you're expected to contribute but can't muster anything intelligent or humorous. In that case, a simple just the best and a swift hand over the gavel was a perfect escape. The second, yet more common use of this phrase was at the end of emails, where we shorten it to JTB, often leaving our recipients perplexed. My 10-day paid leave was approved in December, so I got myself a tiny window to book a last-minute flight to Cairo. Once I hopped on the plane, I executed my ritual by telling the cabin crew to knock me out with drinks. Like, a lot of drinks, to survive the next 11 hours in the air. And the next thing I know, I woke up groggily and tried to absorb whatever scraps of info I could find online about Egypt's ancient culture while regretting taking weaving instead of world history as an elective, though I'll admit the former was a lady magnet. 3 years out of postgraduate study had turned me into a slow, distracted reader, and it didn't help that a flight attendant mistakenly served scotch in tall glasses instead of shots. So much about my drinking problems. Nevertheless, I managed to scrape together some basic knowledge from using websites just before landing. However, the embarrassment of walking through the museum, especially when surrounded by incredible artifacts, beauty as they are, still reminded me of how little I truly know. Well, on the plus side, I did recognize a stone carving of Ramesses II at first glance. Thankfully, my short-term memory didn't completely fail me. Thank you. During my almost fragmental period of time here, I cannot overstate how many times I've been fascinated by the volume, quality, and just sheer artistry of the artifacts here. But what struck me most profoundly is a pervasive culture of death in ancient Egyptian society. From the moment Egyptians were born, they began preparing for their death. They spent much of their lives building tombs for their kings and for themselves, because they believed that each person could eventually return in soul form as Osiris, the god of death, fertility, and resurrection in their polytheist belief system. And that's from Wikipedia. In fact, Osiris was the most worshipped deity until the Middle Kingdom, when Amun and Ra, another two gods, merged to become the focus of their next version of religion. The famous Book of the Dead, found in the tombs of both royalty and commoners, described how the soul could pass through the gate of life to achieve eternal existence and, well, blah blah blah. Photography has been one of my surviving hobbies, and I think it'll even make it for a few more years. One of the reasons is that, unlike sports, photography doesn't fatigue people that much. At least my style of photography usually won't. And you can still take great photos even you're on hiatus. Like, it doesn't matter how long you pick up that camera again from a dusty corner where it happens to sit for a decade. As long as you can press that shutter down, well, there you go. Another thing is that every photo is inherently unique. Like, you can never quite capture the same moment twice, and this character is particularly appealing to my existential leanings. Additionally, photography ties in well with most of my other interests and lifestyle. Some people may say that documenting moments prevents full immersion in them, quote unquote, and I can't fully disagree with that because, well, in truth, I've noticed that fiddling with a cold mechanical tool during something like a fireworks display can be distracting and even annoying to those around me. And at the same time, I found that my impulse to document such events has become less compelling over time. Well, when that novelty wears off, even the most remarkable scene will start to feel cliché after seeing it repeatedly. As our brains excel at recognizing and remembering patterns, well, most thrills are probably doomed to fade eventually. And some of us, when the rush of serotonin fails to satisfy, unfortunately turns to other sources of stimulation. And this, I think, offers an explanation for why some of the most adventurous and accomplished individuals we know ended up self-destructing. My way of seeing it now is that there can be so many ups and downs in life, and some of them so overwhelming that, while at last we grow indifferent to them all. Lately, I've come to see life not as a firework display, but as something much more mundane. Well, sure, it can be mesmerizing at times and hideous probably at others, but mostly it's just ordinary. Not a single moment is more or less worth living than the others, and photography has become my way of appreciating them equally. Unlike those famous photographers who exercise with meticulous calculations in their shooting, for example, Ansel Adams, whose work I greatly admire, and by no means I'm drawing comparison between myself and such a tall figure, I don't require, for example, a perfect weather, lighting, or even timing to press the shutter, because I'd be just as happy to capture a rainy day as I would a sunny one. I might return to the same spot and press the shutter down again, or maybe I don't at all, because at the end of the day, all moments deserve their own frame, and I've made it a more tangible practice by shooting with film predominantly, which ironically has become trendy again. Sometimes I just can't help but wonder how much, if at all, we've come across philosophically over the past 6,000 years of constant cycles of rise and fall. It's anachronistic, I know, big word, but I can't shake the feeling that we're no better at confronting uncertainty and mortality comparing to our ancestors. Back in their day, death was much more common. I don't know if our progress can adjust for the serenity we've lost, but what I do know now is to carpe diem, frame my moments, and enjoy what life gives. And here's to you, my friend. Just the best.
I used to live in a country where my mother and father grew up. I'm traveling back at the ocean. Back at the ocean. I want it 'cause my mama wanted, my daddy wanted it, couldn't get it. They live in a different time. I want it 'cause my grandma wanted, my grandpa wanted it, couldn't get it. They love in a different time. Oh, I want it 'cause everybody wanted it but couldn't get it. Even if they live in my time. Even live in my time. Even they live in my time.
不要干那个自己不愿意干的事，不干了，不强迫自己，牢牢地打好基础，才能实现你最伟大的理想。只要喜欢就行，兄弟们。最主要的自个儿开心，别一下子吃个胖子，容易
撑死。